Welcome to Ogros. I'm your host, Kara Kurtz, and I have been an investigative producer and crime journalist for over 2 decades. And one of the biggest things I've learned is that the questions we're afraid to ask are the ones we need the answers to the most. That's why my mission, alongside my co-hosts Molly and Jenny, is to take down the taboos and start real conversations. Itchy, tiny, contagious,
annoying, sneaky, and stubborn.
tickly, yucky, and usually our favorite word, gross. Are we live? Hello?
We're live.
Is there anybody out there? Well, we are live now here with my dear friend, Tom Morris Jr., my fellow crime fighter.
Well, thank you for having me, my old friend and colleague.
And today's subject?
Drum roll, please.
Dun 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 dun. Everything you needed to know about pinworms. Finally, yay! My favorite subject. But don't get squeamish because we're bringing you the science and the facts.
And don't forget the smiles.
What are eyelash mites? And do most people have them, or is it rare? Is it common? We're just wanting to know the truth from a doctor.
They just exist. Probably about close to 100%. You'd find it somewhere. They're just natural colonizers.
Does that mean like they were building their colony for 70
Basically,
years?
yeah. They're not going anywhere.
That's just what you wanted to know. Sweet dreams, Kara.
Why is it easier to talk about our poop than our paycheck?
So true. So much poop talk, no paycheck talk.
What about our sex life instead of our savings account?
Yeah, that's true.
The word money can not only be taboo, but a dirty secret.
There are a couple of things you can do. One is something I suggest called a money date. And so what I do is I calendar every Sunday 15 minutes to look at money, do money, right? And I don't have any requirement to look at it out of this time period. And what's important is go somewhere or do something you enjoy. Go to a park, go to your favorite restaurant, have a cocktail, like make it an experience.
I love that you're taking it out of the house and you're saying go on a date
out of the
with
house,
yourself.
Okay.
out of the house.
I love that.
And what you're doing is you're looking at the past week, what you spent, where it went, and then you're looking at the week forward. Is there anything I need to prep for? Do I need to move money? Is there anything going on? And then the third thing you're doing is just looking at your goals. Do I need to give myself a little reward? Have I hit a milestone? Simple, simple, simple. Timer's up, we walk away. But what this does is it starts to train you that you're the conductor of your money and you create it in an experience in a way that doesn't feel scary.
And I love that it's for people who are more like me, more scared, it's only 15 minutes. And people like Molly, who might be spending more than 15 minutes,
Yes.
we're not going to go the other way either. And I
Yes.
love that. It's like perfect.
Even trespassing laws in your state are important to know with your children. You know, like, are you trespassing, right, when you do something like this? And I think that that's really, 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 important. Eden's actually asking right now, she's saying, do most people even know the rights in their state, And what are the resources? Where can we go find out what the laws are in a state are? So can you answer
You can
that?
literally, almost any state, if you go to the state police website, you will find a section that has firearms laws for that state. You can also go to your local police department website. And you have to understand that the laws vary from not just state to
Your
state,
county.
but within state.
Yeah.
County.
City, township. Carrying a weapon with a concealed carry permit in this county may be legal, but in this township within that county, it may be prohibited. So you have to really know the law.
I think the biggest alarm bell lately is just the problem with microplastics.
Oh, I know. It's in everything. And the fact that every single product we have is susceptible, right? That's on our shelf.
Because, 20 years ago when I was first diagnosed with cancer, like I was reading stuff like stay away from plastic.
Right,
and it's
water
like,
bottles.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now we have all this like legit science, right? Being reported on like on NBC nightly news, talking about microplastics. There's a recent study where the researchers studied cadavers, brains, and they basically said there's enough plastic in these brains to make a plastic spoon.
Yeah.
Right? To make a spoon.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's wild. And what we're just learning now is it appears that people with dementia had 3 to 5 times more microplastics in their brains. So the good news is that you can reduce your microplastic exposure by 90% by just not drinking bottled water.
Right. That's a very, very important fact.
It's massive. It's massive.
It's
The
massive
other things,
and it's simple.
A story that just won't die in the news. Bang! There's another story about it. The Coldplay moment. I mean, the best memes I've ever seen.
First of all, it's straight comedy, right? It's so funny. The deflection is major. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But there's the other side of people saying, well, maybe we should get rid of kiss cams or fan cams. And was there some responsibility to the artist or the arena that they're going to put a cam on someone, or is the responsibility to the actual audience? You're walking into an arena. How many times we've all seen those signs? You could be filmed, right? Well, what's the sense of privacy? I don't know.
People are walking around with their phones. So, I mean, what do they
Yeah.
So-
What is
so-
the sense of privacy? And,
Right.
you know, when you have an arena filled with, you know, tens of thousands of people.
Well, here's the real issue. The fact that we sitting here talking about being fair to someone that got caught cheating is a problem.
Right?
Thank you.
Like,
Is that the oversight? Is that the oversight? Yeah. It's dark in the room and the flashlight goes on and it's like all of a sudden little wormies are coming out like doo, doo, doo. Is that because they are attracted to light, these little wormies, or is it because they're like at night sort of hanging out closer to the entry of your rectum?
So at night, they're a little more active. Okay. And a lot of times when the host is asleep,
Right.
one of the ways you can check, yes, is to put a flashlight down there because you can see the little worms coming out of the anus at night with the little flashlight.
Because they're having a party down there. Because
They're having a little party.
That's when they all hang out. Wow. Okay. And then, okay. I read that you can use tape, Scotch tape. Ladies, is this true?
The tape test.
Well, you say this, Molly, like everyone should know. The tape test.
The tape test. It is the tape test. So the tape test, yes, you can actually spread the cheeks and you put a piece of tape down there and you can actually pull it off and then you can see the eggs or the worms attached to the tape. You can bring that tape sample to your doctor to determine the type of worm egg that they're seeing.
And I think it's circling back to the fact that you go back to the basics. Homes always had the news on, right? When you're a kid, we used to read newspapers. They were dropped off at our door. You know, that's how you got your news. And we have gotten away from that. And there is a whole generation that gets their news from TikTok and
Let me
it's not
throw this
accurate.
in there. TikTok, which is now back.
Yeah, I know. If we had recorded this the other day, we would have been like, it's gone.
NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, all the K-Cows and KMBCs, they're all putting stuff on TikTok. This is a technology. If you get it from TikTok, fine. But
Just find
did
the
you
right
get
source.
it from a source that is actually in the business of trying to get real information out, as opposed to just some Yahoo saying something on TikTok so that he can get a lot of clicks? And remember, at the end of the day, if they get a number of clicks, they made money. So who knows where their agendas are?
100%. And AI is you know, people have to be aware the whole AI thing. I mean, there were tons of AI videos that were getting released that were not accurate information,
Who
that
makes
were
those?
not true.
Who takes their time to make those and try?
I don't know. Listen, I
want to know those people, and I want to ask them why.
I know.
I want to start with one story, Dr. Steve, that had to do with a flea. And I think that scared us all a little bit more because dogs carry fleas.
And
whatever.
we have animals.
And we have animals.
Mm-hmm.
And take it from the moment I texted you in the middle of the night.
Hardly in the middle of the night. So these fleas carry an infection called typhus. And typhus, it turns out, is not just one thing. It's several things. And I'm very happy to report to you that the one that's going around central LA and the area is probably the least severe of the different forms of typhus. Typhus is a huge disease in history. Epidemic typhus, it really caused the disaster of the Napoleonic Army in 1812. These things have changed the course of history in large outbreaks. The type of typhus that's going on in LA right now is something called murine typhus, and it's the flea-borne typhus. And it's really a pest problem. It's carried around by fleas that are attached to cats, rats, opossums that might live under somebody's house or crawl space. And so it's easily treated with a common antibiotic called doxycycline. And frankly, even untreated, people generally do fairly well, though occasionally people do get really sick and even die from it. Thankfully, that's rare.
Let's go back to the Napoleon days. How did people get that one? And what's the difference?
The epidemic typhus is a more severe infection and really can be fatal in a lot more cases. It's passed by the body louse. But interestingly, it also can be passed in rare cases with flying squirrels.
For people who don't know, the squirrels actually fly.
Yes, they glide very effectively. It's kind of like the Buzz Lightyear thing. It's not flying; it's just falling with style, actually. But
you have to get people's attention
Mm-hmm.
to have them care, to want to participate and take action, right? So most of the shows that Tom and I have worked on together, there's always been some sort of unique aspect like that. Like America's Most Wanted, the recreations really pulled people in, and it was sort of like, and they felt like, hey, I can be the hero. Like, for Live PD, it was the same thing. It was like, I'm going to be on the edge of the street. Anything can happen. And when that audience got large enough, and Tom and I were like, we need to put missings on, and we need to utilize this time, that by that time, the fans were so into the show, they were like, yeah, I want to help.
On Live PD, I think we recovered between Live PD and the spinoff show I did, Live PD Wanted.
Yep.
I think we recovered something like 15 missing children with the help of our audience and 30-something fugitives in the course of just a couple of years.
You can really help bring children home. You can really help catch a fugitive. You can really make a difference.
Your gross out journey starts right here.